Welcome to the Michael Singer Podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Masters. Mind is a very, very, very fascinating thing. And very, very few people understand mind. If mind studies mind, it only knows about mind. If you get too close to something, you can't see it. Only great masters who have transcended mind, which we can talk about what that means, are able to look at it as what it is. Mind is a field of energy in which thoughts can be created. They don't have to be created. The field can be completely still. The Buddhists speak of the void, the emptiness. And they speak of it like great ones speak about God. Even Zen doesn't believe in God, but they believe in the void and the emptiness, which is the same as God. So mind can be still. If you meditate deeply, there's times where the mind has become still. And it's very, very beautiful. You come back and you're changed. If you go deep enough, you're changed for life. You could go into total still mind and beyond for seconds and never be the same when you come back. Because you realized, I'm not my mind. You didn't think I'm not my mind. You're not your mind. It's just, you can go stand by the ocean and watch it and study it and watch it have waves and bubbles and all sorts of things and be still and calm. But you're not the ocean. You're looking at it. The mind is exactly that. It is a field of energy, a vibration rate that's higher than physical form. Okay? It's just a very, very high vibration rate. And so it behaves just like the ocean. It can create waves. It can create thoughts. That's what they are, waves, bubbles. It can create rapids and all sorts of scary stuff, can't it? And it can become still. There, let's just start right there. If the mind is still, that's what you mean by peace. That's the calm. Just like the ocean can be still, completely still, amazing, not a single ripple, none. That's the Zen mind. That's a quiet mind. Or the mind can be in tremendous turmoil, like during a hurricane, throwing, flashing giant waves. Can't it? Can it also be still? Even if it's not totally still. It's just like the ocean. It's just a totally different vibration rate, a much higher vibration rate than what form is. Fine, so what? They haven't measured it yet, okay? I hope I'm not around when they're able to measure your thoughts. Then you have the thought police. I don't know, like in the movies, okay? No, thank you. I have enough trouble without that, okay? And psychics, I have met psychics that know your mind, period. I've met very, very deep psychics. I'm not into that, but it's just reality. People can be so still and open within themselves that they hear your thoughts. There's only one reason you do not hear other people's thoughts, because you're so involved in yours. If I sit there and stare at my hand, just really stare at my hand, every single line, every single crevice, and I just get lost in staring at my hand, you're not here. Not to me. My consciousness is absorbed in something and it can't experience the rest. Your consciousness, our consciousness, is absorbed in our thoughts. Very much so. Our thoughts and emotions. That's what you're paying attention to. Do I like this? Do I not like this? I don't know. Should I go there? I'm trying to make a decision. Part of me wants to do it. That's all just mind. There's no part of me. There's like one wave and another wave. Meaningless. All of it meaningless. But I don't know. It can be meaningless, but how do I decide? That's just mind creating commotion. So you stare at that all the time. You don't know you're staring at it. Eventually, I'm so absorbed in my hand, I don't know there's anything but hand. Therefore, I don't know I'm staring at my hand because all of my consciousness is limited to this. Therefore, that's all there is. So I don't know there's anything else to say I'm staring at my hand. That's what you're doing with your mind. Your consciousness is completely absorbed in your thoughts and your emotions. When I say mind, you might as well say heart. Thoughts and emotions, there's different vibration rates. They have differences, but for all practical purposes, you are staring at your psyche. I combine those and call them the psyche. Your mind's vibrations and your heart's vibrations. They create different wavelets, don't they? But you're staring at them. Your consciousness is absorbed all the time. Not some of the time, all the time. No, now when I'm in love, I just feel all this love and I think so wonderful thing. You're absorbed in your mind and your heart. Nice one. Nice wave. Good wave. So pretty. All right. It's still just the ocean. It's just mind. It's just mind and emotions. And the consciousness, which is who you are, is staring just like you stare at the hand. You're staring at your thoughts and your emotions, and you don't know how to get out. And very few people have ever gotten out. But there is out. Period. There is out. You do not have to stare at your hand. What happens when you take your hand down? Whoa, where do you guys come from? And then they have a thing called a satori, not enlightenment, but a satori, where they meditate so deeply for so long that all of a sudden they're out. And then they come right back, don't worry, okay? They're out. And they said a lot of people, they just laugh. What am I staring at my hand? All of a sudden, where'd you guys come from? This all of a sudden, it opens up. Why? If you stare at your mind becomes a prison. It is just like being locked up in prison. You're in the prison of your mind. What particular prison? Well, you made your own. You got divorced 3 years ago, so there's those bars. What do you mean? Why are they bars? Because if you see him, you get sick. If you think of him or her, you get sick. You built bars of all these experiences that you've had that got stuck in your mind. Things get stuck in your mind, don't they? Like your whole past. What is psychology about? The things that got stuck in your mind. The trouble is, most of psychology doesn't know it doesn't have to be that way. That's yoga. That's spirituality. Spirituality understands, yes, that's true. Everything Freud found, absolutely true. Everything they're all studying, every single thing's true. The trouble is, it's not you. It's what you're looking at. And you who's looking at it do not have to be in that prison. Period. I don't care what the prison looks like. I don't care how strong it is. I don't care whatever happened to you. I don't care whatever happened to you. It does not have to be a bar within your mind. If it is still there, you are holding it there. That's the most amazing part. It's not just a prison. It's a prison that you're holding the bars. Don't take these away. And you're holding the bars. Help, I'm in prison. I'm serious. Those bars don't stay in there. Nothing stays in there unless you hold it in there. It's empty. It's wide. It's just etheric space in there. It's beautiful. But things have happened to you. Here's the basics I always talk about because it's important. Things have happened to you in your life that you had difficulty handling. Anybody say no? I didn't say anybody say no. Things have happened in your life. Lots of things. Sometimes really, really big things and sometimes little things. You say hello to somebody, they don't say hello back. Next time you see them, you have a problem. It didn't go through. It didn't make it through your mind. It got stuck in your mind. It didn't get stuck. You held it. You used will. What is will? Focused consciousness. You are consciousness. What is awareness? Your awareness of being. That's who you are. Awareness of being. If you focus the power of that awareness, it's like holding a magnifying glass against the sun. The sun's falling everywhere. Hold your magnifying glass, you set things on fire. If you focus the power of consciousness onto something, it can't pass through. You stopped it. You held it with the power of your consciousness. That's what you do to things that you don't like. You try to stop them from coming in. I don't want to feel this. I don't want this to have happened. I don't want to ever think about this again. And what you do is you push it away so it doesn't make it through your mind. It didn't make it through the ocean. Here's what I'm going to do. A wave is coming up. I don't want a wave. I'll build a dam to stop it. Okay, well, you're in trouble for the rest of your life because that wave has power. I always tell you, the Hoover Dam stopped the Colorado River. Do you know that river, to this day, when that thing built in the 30s, whatever, is trying to push past that dam? Exactly the same as day one when they built it. And if they don't be careful and they little hole, it'll blow the thing down and go back to where it used to go. That's exactly what you're doing inside. When something comes in from outside, The thing doesn't come in, the thing's out there, but its vibration comes in, its message comes in, its energy comes in. It comes in and you start to experience it. But I don't want to experience it. I want to resist. I don't like that it happened. I can't stop it from having happened. Listen to me. It wouldn't be in there if it hadn't happened. So obviously, if you're not liking it in there, it happened out there. And you will never undo it. There's no erasers that can go backwards and make it not have happened. So it comes in, and then what do? Your consciousness gets distracted really strongly by it. Your consciousness gets distracted by loud sounds, by bright lights, and it gets distracted by yicky vibrations. If something comes in that's uncomfortable, hey, your body does it too. The moment I squeeze your arm and it gets uncomfortable, well, if it's uncomfortable, don't focus on it. You don't know how not to. It draws your it distracts your consciousness to it. If it's very uncomfortable or it's very comfortable, something that not used to, your consciousness gets drawn toward it. So this thing comes in, it's not comfortable, the vibrations inside are uncomfortable, and you are distracted by it and you resist it. You push it away. I don't want it coming all the way in, so I have to experience it fully. Why would I want this yicky vibration coming all the way back to where I am, back here? Now, if I love you with all my heart and you're hugging me and I'm melting, and it's just, I want that in. I want that all the way in, don't I? And guess what? Sometimes you have trouble letting it all the way in, don't you? You still resist because you're scared. You're scared to let go. But that's what you want to do, isn't it? And it comes further in. What does it feel like? Oh my God. Like it doesn't have to be a hugging. You could turn the corner in a beautiful sunset. You weren't expecting anything. And all of a sudden, it's all lavenders and purples and unbelievable, right? And you tell something, oh my God, it touched me to the core of my being. And it ever touched to the core of your being? Not very often, is it? Come on, you can count it on one hand. How many times has something touched you to the core of your being? So you sat there and said, oh my God, I felt like I was in the presence of God. That means it got all the way in. It did touch you to the core of your being. It came in. There was no resistance at all. And it merged back into your soul, back into your consciousness, all the way back to where you are, back here. But you don't live there. You're there, but you don't live there. Why? Because you project your consciousness. You focus your consciousness on what it's distracted by. I'm staring at my hand. Everything's still here, but I'm staring at my hand. So now you're staring. It drew your consciousness. You got distracted by it. And now because you focused on it, you stopped it. God, if you could understand, this is metaphysics or physics. Someday they'll call it physics. What's metaphysics? The part they haven't figured out yet. It's just the same laws, the same functions, the same concepts, but energy is much more subtle than what they're able to experience. But the reality is, when the force of your focus of consciousness focuses, and it will when it's distracted by it, will focus on it, it stops. What stops? The energy that came in stops. You do that to protect yourself inside, but if you do that, it stays. You stopped it. It would have gone through. The most terrible thing that ever happened to you, if you're high enough, goes through. It passes through. You just get up and say, wow, that was something else. Wow. There's a story of Ramana Maharshi, very great, great saint, lived in the Himalayas most of his life. There's a story that he was going with some disciples up the mountains to visit somebody or something, and there's a handful of people, and they had their supplies, and there were robbers and burglars in the Himalayas, and they got robbed, and they got beaten up, and they got knocked out, and they stole all their stuff. And they got up in the morning. What are we going to do? We better go down. We don't have any supplies. Is everybody okay? Right? And the master wasn't so okay. And his arm was hurt and this and that. And they looked to see whether the master was okay. And Ramana Maharshi had got up and started walking back up the mountain where they were going to start with, as if nothing had happened. Nothing. Right? It was just, oh, okay. That's what happened. Next. Let's go. How would you like to be like that? Takes a licking and keeps on ticking. It went right through. It passed through. Yeah, it's a terrible experience. Fine, it's over. Why would I keep it? Why would I let it affect my life? Okay, you're capable of that, but no one ever told you you're capable of that. And there are things you need to do to work with yourself so that you don't get distracted by so strongly that you resist what you don't want to keep. Why would I keep that? I'll never go to the mountains again. I'll never go hiking again, right? That's how you are, isn't it? If something doesn't feel good, you keep it, and then it becomes a bar. It becomes one of those bars of your cage, right? If I see a snake and I can't handle seeing a snake, I won't go out to the woods anymore. There, one bar. If I get married and it doesn't work out, I'm going to get to bar number 2, men, women, all right? Bar number 3, bar number 4, bar number 5. And they are bars. They stop me from being free, do they not? You built those bars. You say, no, the snake did. No, the snake was just a thing in life. You couldn't handle the reality of its vibration. And so you held it inside of you, and now you're messed up. Now your whole life has to fit within this tiny thing. So that's one thing mind can become, a prison. And guess what? Yours is. You have things you like, things you don't like, things you really, really like, things you really, really don't like. I guarantee you that is not your soul. That is these bars that you've held before. And if something goes toward one that you didn't like from before, you don't like it now. Like, oh my God, that color shirt, that's what my mother was wearing when she died. And I don't like you. Why would you wear something like that? I'm telling you, your preferences, every single one of your preferences, your likes and your dislikes, colors, people, places, things, weather, all of them are what we call samskaras, a bar in a cage. That's what a samskara is. Something you held on to from the past that is now running your life. You are running away from or toward. The deep Zen writing from the third Zen patriarch, the great way, enlightenment, the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. The other side of that is the great way is extremely difficult for those who have strong preferences. Why? Because what is a preference? Something in your psyche, your mind or your heart, that either feels good or bad when something happens, and now you need to come down there and either make it happen or make it not happen. Most human beings, meaning 99.99999% that ever lived, spent their entire life doing what I just told you, trying to make the outside world be a way that makes them feel good and not be a way that makes them feel bad. Have you ever done that? Have you ever not done that? From the moment you wake up in the morning, from your childhood, all the way through your life, that's what you're doing. Now what I need to do, since I'm limited to those experiences that I like, and I very much don't like those, I need to manipulate everyone and everything in my life so that it fits where I'm blocked. That's what you're doing. I don't care how you're doing it. Do it with a gun. Do it with a mantra. Do it with dressing nicely, being very attractive. What you are doing is attempting to manipulate the outside world so that it unfolds in front of you, so that when it comes in, it doesn't hit the stuff that bothered you before, and it does hit the stuff that made you feel really good before. All right? How many of you would like to go on a date with Tom Cruise? Don't raise your hand. You don't know anything about him, but you saw a movie. Wow, Top Gun. And you just have these impressions in your mind. And they determine your life. Every one of them is a bar in your prison. Why? There's an entire universe outside of your thoughts that you never even thought about. I'm still staring at my hand. If I stare at my hand, I can get it to be, oh, look, that's much nicer. Look at my lifeline. It's much longer than I thought. Oh, look at that. Right? There's a whole world out there. Not just in this room. What about outside? What about in the universe? You ain't never seen any of it. You locked yourself in a cage that's so tiny, I can't even think about it. How tiny is your cage? These are the bars. And you're being taught how to live within them. Do you hear me? That's what you're being taught, how to cope, how to be okay even though you're not okay, and how to live within the bars and not get too messed up. Is that what you want to do? Is that what you want to do? Learn to live within the bars? Learn to attract to yourself that which makes you feel good, and learn to keep away from you that which makes you feel bad. Stay within the bars. Drive within the lines. Do you understand that? Now you got real quiet. I think it's wonderful that you can attract to yourself what you want. All right? Then let's get going. Because that means, what do I want? What fits within the bars? That's what turns me on. Why doesn't everything turn you on? I never even thought of such a thing, right? Why are there only certain things that turn you on? Why do you sit there and say, find your passion? You have a choice. Find your passion. Find out what your passion is, and then find it outside. That's a lot of work, right? Or find out why you're not passionate about everything. There's the difference between a yogi and a regular person. Why would I not be passionate about everything? Why are you not passionate about everything? Because you have these samskaras. Why are you passionate about one thing makes her sick to her stomach to even think about? You were passionate about something yesterday that makes you sick today. You were sick about something yesterday that really turns you on now. Yes or no? Wake up. You have a choice. Stay within the bars or get out. Spirituality is not about staying within the bars. And it's not about painting the bars really pretty. Put little ohms all over them. I put ohms all over them and write God's name on every single bar. See how open I am? No, you're inside of bars. You're inside of bars. Well, I don't want you inside of bars. And I know you're capable of not being inside of bars. And there's only one life that's worth living outside the bars. If you're locked up in that prison, I'd love to free you. I'd love you to get out. All right? So can you get out? Yes. But what does it take to get out? It takes understanding that mind can be a prison. We just locked you in one, didn't we? You just understand that. You do see that. Or mind can be a liberator. What's that? When you use your mind to contemplate reality, instead of to contemplate what you want and what you don't want, you contemplate reality. What does that mean? I do that all the time with you. There's multiple places you can go that. Did you know that you're on a tiny little planet spinning around the middle of nowheres? No, I don't know. I'm staring at my hand. Shut up. Why would I think about that? I'm on a planet spinning around the middle of nowheres. I need to get a job. This person doesn't like me. I don't like people who don't like me. And I'm getting old. I don't want to get old. Why are you talking to me about a planet? I'm staring at my hand. I'm talking about a planet because you are sitting on a planet. I don't care whether you want to think about it or not. The reason you don't want to think about it is because you want to think about what's inside your bars. You want to think how to make it nice inside your bars. That's what you're trying to do. Find the right person, find the right job, find this, make sure you're attractive, get this, get that. Just make everything be the way it feels good inside the bars. I want to be happy inside the bars. Okay, be happy in the bars. I don't want you not to. I want you to be happy. But happy ain't got nothing to do with liberation. That has nothing to do with what it means to be free. I want to be free. I want to find out what it's like to not be inside the bars. Because you're capable of not being inside those bars, period. And life outside those bars is what I just talked about. What's life outside the bars? I'm on a tiny little planet spinning in the middle of nowheres. Black, dark, empty space, a tiny, tiny little planet. If it blew up and went to smithereens, a couple of other planets would change their orbit and nothing else anywhere would even know it was ever there. How come you thought? You didn't leave space. You didn't get that overview effect that the astronauts get. But if you use your mind, you can. If you use your mind to get off this planet, look at it, and say, I'm angsting. There's this planet. There are lots of planets. We know that. We looked at even exoplanets or planets in our solar system. There ain't nothing going on those planets. Nothing. Dirt, fire, rocks, nothing. Never found an amoeba, never found a protozoa, never found any signs of life yet, anywheres. So it's like here? Kind of boring here, right? Nothing going on. There's so much going on, it's incomprehensible. Every single place you look, it's teeming with life and with excitement and things happening, and all you do is complain. No, seriously, all you do is complain. Why? Because it doesn't fit within your bars. That which is happening in front of you. There's a bug. I told you. Listen to me. There's a roach. Oh my God, there's a roach. If you went to Mars, it would not take a couple of days that if a roach ran by, you would chase after it to make friends. That's the difference between being locked within the bars of your mind or having an open mind. So you understand, I'm sitting on this planet. I teach you that all the time. You've seen pictures of it. It's just this little ball floating out there. You drop down onto it for some years, I don't know, 80, 90, 100, nothing. It's been here for 4.5 billion years. Listen to me. That's bigger than 100. 4.5 billion years. You drop down for 80, 90, or 100, and then you leave. Period. That's what's going to happen. And so there you are, dealing with reality. And you're going to tell me that you drop down on this beautiful planet with flowers and fish and animals and deer and people and nice people and mean people. There's all kinds of things. It's very exciting. And you're going to drop down there for a handful of years. What are you going to do down there? Be neurotic. I am going to suffer. I am going to be so anxious and so uptight. I'm going to worry about everything. Why would you want to drop down here and do that? You can do anything you want. Because your mind has locked you into what I want and what I don't want. Those are those bars. And so now if the world unfolds in front of you the way you don't want or doesn't unfold the way you want, you suffer. You get upset. You have trouble. Even if it's being the way you want, you worry that it won't be someday. In fact, the more you like it, the more you're afraid it'll stop. That's your mind. That's what you've done with your mind. There's no such thing as having a decent life locked inside those bars, because the world is not going to unfold the way you want. Why? Because it's going to unfold according to science, according to nature. It's going to unfold by reality. And this thing you made up in here, that's your reality. That's not life's reality. There's a law called cause and effect. And every moment unfolding in front of you is the result of everything that ever happened. The combination of all the different forces that are moving through time and space came together in the moment in front of you. If you don't like it, it distracts you. You actually look at it because you know, oh, it's a roach. Oh my God, what are you going to do? Right? Now the roach is gone. But there was one there. There could be one there again. I wonder where he went. I want to find him. I want to find the roach houses. You don't like roaches. Why do you want to find the roach house? And that's basically what's happening. And then you worry and you suffer and you get anxious and you're weird. And okay, but the truth is, if you get out of that mind, right? Does it mean there wasn't a roach? No, it means you handle the roach. There was a roach. There's roaches in Florida. Have you noticed there's roaches in Florida? What do I do? That's your business. You know, if you want to spray them, I can fire spray them. They get exterminated, fine. I pick them up and throw them outside, fine. Whatever you want to do is fine. Handle the reality of the fact that there are roaches. Be calm. Accept. Then deal with it. I teach that all the time. Acceptance doesn't mean you don't deal with things. It means reality has to be accepted. Why? Because it's reality. And if you can't accept reality, you're going to be screwed up. Because reality always wins. I told you how I define reality in Living Untethered. It kind of seems like I better write a whole book on that. No, it's very simple. One sentence. Reality is that which already happened. That which already happened is reality. You're never going to change it. You can't erase it. It's that which already happened. Can you handle reality? And the answer is no. Well, then you're going to be neurotic. Because reality is what already happened, and you can't change it. So you have to get down to understanding there's work you're supposed to be doing on yourself. If you can't handle reality, you're going to be a mess. Then you're going to have to manipulate and control and try to make everything be the way you want because you're afraid of reality. You're afraid of what's going to happen next. I don't want you to live like that. That's just living inside the prison of mind. If you start expanding your thought process, so we took the planet spinning out there. Get up in the morning and realize you woke up on the planet Earth. You don't want to wake up on Venus. It's much too hot. You don't want to wake up on Pluto. It's freezing. Plus, it's not even a planet anymore. So the net result is you take your consciousness and you start moving it to an expanded thought pattern. You're capable of doing whatever you want, all right? So you look at the planet Earth. There it is floating out there. You do it in the morning. You do it in the afternoon. You do it in the evening. You do it during the day. Whatever you want. Just remember, use your mind to expand the room of your consciousness. I don't want your consciousness locked inside the prison of your psyche. I want it to be free and open. So you think like that. I told you before. What happens when you start to think like that? You look at planet Earth. Okay, now I got that. And then I send you this fact, truth. 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. It's pretty small, this little thing that you live on. 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. You know, you can use your mind to think of that. What would that mean? 1.3 million inside one star? Well, that's amazing. How many stars are there? 300 billion in your galaxy. So how important is what somebody said to you yesterday? See what I'm saying? You just freed your consciousness from being locked within the prison of your mind. You're now using your mind for something great. You're using it to create a whole reality for you instead of you creating this false world that is nothing but suffering. If the truth is what I just told you, that 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun, one star, and there's 300 billion stars in your galaxy, and there are 2 trillion galaxies. OMG. And what are you worrying about? What are you afraid of? What is the anxiety? What are your problems? It's all relative. If I'm staring at my hand, oh my God, I didn't see that line before. Where did that come from? Oh my God. Right? If I do what I just did with my mind instead, I don't have a problem in the universe. I don't have a problem in the world. I'm experiencing the reality. I'm using my mind, but you're using your mind to do the other thing too, you know? Don't say, well, that's fake. You're just using your mind to imagine reality. You know, I'm using my mind to incorporate reality. You're using your mind to make up your own reality and then expecting the universe to fit. I'm not using my mind for that. I'm using my mind that it fits the universe instead of the universe fits my mind. Are you capable of doing what I just said? Is your mind capable of thinking the stuff I just talked to you about if you wanted it to? Can you see a little tiny planet spinning through space and this giant star, beautiful, shining star, and then there's all these other stars? And can you do that with your mind? Yes. Do you do that with your mind? No. Why? Why would you rather lock yourself in the prison instead of be free? Right? Reality is reality, but you refuse to think about it. You would rather think about what makes you suffer. Now, just to be fair, if I expand the realm of my awareness using my mind, you're not going to go out there and fly into space someday. Maybe some of you will, right? But still, you're not going to go very far. There's nothing. Like even our Voyager spacecraft, they went outside the solar system. What does that mean? Nothing. They went outside the influence of one star. Are you listening to me? That's some great thing we've done. It took, 50 years to get out there, some stuff like that. It went out the influence of one star. Again, I can't help myself. Listen, where's the next star? Now that you've dared to get off the Earth and realize there's a star and there's a planet, where's the next star? The next star is 4.3 light years away. What does that mean? Nothing. It means nothing to me, nothing to you. Next star. I told you, if I catch a beam of light above the planet Earth, got it? And I let it go for 1 second, it circumnavigated the Earth 7.5 times. That's the speed of light. Go that speed every second for 4.3 years, and you'll get to the next star. God, it's a pretty big place, isn't it? And there's 300 billion, and they're all that far from each other. And you're worrying about what? You see, you have the right to use your mind to liberate yourself. It's not just, no mind. How do I achieve no mind? No, don't rush. Before the baby can walk, it crawls. Use your mind. You dare to use your mind to touch reality, because the mind can do it. You'll see it gets distracted right back to the prison. Goes right back to the prison. Bam, it's like a rubber band. You start thinking like that. Yeah, but what do I do? What happens? Oh my God, I said something. Maybe the boss didn't like it. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Learn to let go of that rubber band. Learn to expand your mind. You're not expanding your mind. You're ceasing to contract it. How you like that? That mind is capable of everything. It holds it out there. So what happens if I do that? How do I live my life? Now that you've experienced the wholeness of what's going on out there, how big it is, and we didn't even make it big. That was your next star. 4.3 light years, all right? At that speed. Is there another galaxy? Yeah, you've heard of Andromeda Galaxy, haven't you? How far away is the next galaxy, the next major galaxy? 2.5 million light years. The next galaxy. And there's trillions of them. I'm talking about God, aren't I? Well, you're capable of experiencing that, at least with your mind. Just touch it for a moment. Go that speed I told you about, 7.5 times when we're on the earth in 1 second. Go that speed for 2.5 million years. And you will get to the next galaxy. And what are you worried about? And you get to the point where you say, my mind can be a liberator, can't it? It can liberate me from this prison that I've locked myself in. How do I do that? Contemplate reality. Contemplate the truths. At least sometimes when you're driving your car and you sit on the toilet, I'm sitting on the toilet on a little planet in the middle of nowhere, black empty space, and look how big everything is. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that unbelievable? Have a good time doing what you're doing. Doesn't mean you don't do anything. And eventually I'll tell you what you get. When you get out of that prison, which now determines what you do and who you like and who you don't, what you believe in and who you're going to vote for. Oh, big one. All right. And all this kind of stuff. When you get out of there, all right, all of a sudden, there's nothing but peace. There's nothing but love. There's nothing but this beauty inside yourself. Because if you lock yourself up, you get claustrophobia. You want to get out. Well, you get out. What happens now? You wake up, you realize, well, there's still a world here. Guess what? I don't need anything from it. I don't need anything from it. I don't not like or like. I'm here, and this is what I'm experiencing. But it's not touching back here where I live. I live on the planet. I live in a galaxy. I live in the universe. That's where I live. We'll go a little deeper in a moment. So what happens when you come back here when that's your state? There's nothing left to do but serve. There's no reason to do anything. There's no reason to not do anything. So if I see a little bird that's suffering, I pick it up. If I see a person that's having trouble, I try to help if I can. If I see a business that there's a better way to do something that's more efficient, well, I'll do it. It's not that you don't do things. You just don't do anything for yourself anymore. But that's very disciplined. No, it's not discipline at all. If you don't need anything, you don't need anything. If you live on the edge of the ocean, there's nothing but beautiful water, and somebody says, oh, I need some water. I said, drink. There's an infinite amount, right? Well, you're filled with an infinite amount of well-being because you're not constricting yourself down to your garbage. You're filled with love. You're filled with openness. So you serve. So I want to make sure you understand that just because you've let go of your stupid prison, I'm giving you a choice. Use your mind to lock yourself into this tiny little prison where you suffer all the time and you fear and you're scared, you have anxiety and all that stuff, and you have to manipulate and control everything, or use your mind to free your soul. Use your mind to free your consciousness to where it's able to expand into all of reality. But guess what? I win because mine is reality. Yours is fictitious. You made this up. Hers is different than yours, and yours is different than hers, and yours will be different tomorrow. There's no reality to it. It's just the sum of your learned experiences. Now, what psychology says your ego is the sum of your learned experiences. Well, you had different experience than her, different experience than her, different experience after tomorrow. So all of it just keeps changing. It's totally transient, like the Buddha said. It's just, there's nothing solid there, is there? Can it change in a minute? Can you love somebody and they hate them in the next moment? All they have to do is say the wrong thing or not say the right thing. Has it ever happened to you? Right? And then you find out, oh, you didn't hear them right. So you love them again. I saw you with somebody and you were holding hands and I don't ever see you again. Will you please stop? No, I'll never see you again. It was my brother. I don't know you had a brother. I know, I never told you. And so you realize if you will use your mind to liberate yourself, don't think of the mind like people meditate, get past your mind, the mind's evil. The mind that creates your prison is a major problem. But you did that. You held on to this and held on to that and held on to this, and then you made this prison that you have to live in. Don't tell me life did that. Don't tell me God did that. You did that because you couldn't handle reality. Then you built this prison that tries to protect yourself from the part of you that can't handle reality. There's something greater to do. Learn to handle reality. Learn to handle reality. instead of going out there and fighting with reality. So try to be what you can handle. There, how about I say it like that? Which would you rather do? I'll tell you what, I'm trying to play tennis. I don't play tennis very well at all. So it keeps going in the net. Lower than that. Come on, lower than that. But then you go to play with somebody else and they don't want the net lower. Okay, I'm only playing with people who want the net lower. You laugh. Isn't that what I'm teaching you? You keep limiting yourself by not being willing to learn to play tennis, by not being willing to learn to handle reality. You cannot change reality. You can worry about it. You can hope it'll change. You can dream. You can do that. It makes you feel better. Yeah, it does. Okay, but it doesn't happen, does it? It doesn't change anything. You have to work with it. Instead, work with your ability to handle reality. That's the bottom line. I told you, we started to talk about mind. Mind can be a trap, a prison, or it can be a liberator. If you use your mind to transcend your personal self, to think about reality, not think about your stupid little prison that you live in. That's your reality, but it's not reality, is it? Okay? It's just a little box that you build. I don't like it in here. Well, then get out. No, I want to make it nice in here. No. There's a chapter in the Untethered Soul called Take Down the Walls that does exactly this, okay? What do you want to do? Get locked in the house and it's dark and put artificial lights and bring nice people in and try to, oh, it's pretty, put pretty posters all over the walls and make it really nice, like a nice prison. Or get out of the house. There's a whole world out there. That's your choice. You have one life to live here. What do you want to do? Fight to try to make it fit your prison or learn to get out of your prison? Now, how do you get out of the prison? One, I gave you a very real way. Bother contemplating something bigger than you, such as I told you with the universe, okay? And the other one, I'm not going to do it. I usually do one per talk. If you don't like the astronomy of it all and expanding out, I do like it, by the way, and you just, all I have to do is just anything. You just get out, look at it, start to feel its size, and then realize it's way beyond anything you can contemplate. We just talked about one galaxy. There's 2 trillion. It goes on forever, right? And understand that is the body of God. Just like your consciousness experiences this entire body at the same time, doesn't it? That is a entity whose consciousness is that's its body. You know, talk about God, that entire body is like your body, and that consciousness, one consciousness, that's its body. And guess what's inside that body? The planet Earth. It's all made of the same consciousness. It's all made of the same consciousness. There's nothing but that consciousness. And guess what? Your scientists are teaching you that. They don't know that. But they are teaching you that they are so close, it's unbelievable. Why? Well, do your scientists teach you that what you're looking at right now is reality? No, they don't. No, they took microscopes, electron microscopes. They looked real closely at your nose. And they said, there's not a nose. That's just a bunch of molecules. Oh, that's like going up to your flat screen TV. Ever go up real close? It's not the picture. It's pixels. It's tiny little dots. That's what they saw when they looked through the microscope. Oh my God, it's not a nose. It's molecules. Oh, wait. More magnification. No, it's not molecules. It's atoms. Oh my God, it's tiny little atoms spinning around. And, oh, no, that's old thought. Step it up. Step up this magnification. Ooh, it's not atoms. It's electrons, neutrons, and protons. Now, if these are just words to you, there's something wrong with you, because I just described every single thing you ever saw. If I take electron, neutrons, and protons, everything, all stars, all your body, every single thing that's physical, everything you see as form is not what you think it is it? It's electron, neutron, protons. It's pixels on the screen. Oh, I'm not done. Oh, no, please be done. No, I'm not done. I'm not done. There are no electron, neutrons, or protons. They lied to you when they taught you that. There are no electron, neutron, protons. There's quarks, leptons, and bosons. Now you're down to quantum physics. What do you mean? They look deep enough. They don't do it with microscopes. They do it by colliding them together with very big machines, miles and miles long, bombard these particles, and then they see they were made of something. They break apart. You get down to quantum physics. Well, what are electron, neutron, and protons? Quarks, leptons, and bosons. What are those? Well, I love studying it and looking at it. You say they're the particles that, say, let's take a proton. It's made of 4 quarks. They call them quarks for whatever reason, right? It's made of 2 up quarks and a down quark. Okay, that means there's little tiny particles. No, they're not particles. There are no particles. There's no such thing as a particle. There's just wavelets in the quantum fields. They're not things. They're not little balls that you glue together. They're just force fields. Whoa. Well, that's what quantum physics tells you. They're just force fields is what's down there, like little wavelets bombarding and interacting with each other and behaving as though, if they hit just right, they'll behave as though they're a particle. They're not. There are no particles. Well, we're getting very close to saying it's not here, aren't we? Not some mystical thing. This is physics. That's quantum physics. That's what it's teaching you. That's what they found. Well, then what is here? These fields that agitate each other. If you take sine waves and they interact with each other, they hit each other, they do different things. There's just fields of, and I don't want to say energy, because that's a whole other thing in true quantum physics. They're not energy. Energy is what happens because there's movement, but the field is not energy. The field is nothing. They talk about that, the vacuum state of a field. And when there's no movement, then there's no particles, there's nothing. That's Brahma. That's what the great masters taught the ancient Upanishads, the formless, that without form. How did it get form? Vibration. They say Om. A vibration. If you have any sort of disturbance on a still lake, all of a sudden there's vibrations, aren't there? Wavelets. Everything you see is made out of those wavelets. So it's just one drop away from understanding that what they're calling fields is just an expression of consciousness. The divine consciousness just expressed itself. And we are able to take that. All it has to do is burp. This tiny little vibration where there was nothing. And we know how to build the universe. That is amazing what we have figured out. Do you hear me? Like literally, give me a total still lake, infinite lake. There it is. Nothing's happening. Just drop a leaf in it. Some little interaction, and it starts to make a wave. And science today knows how to take that wave and build the entire universe. Build your body, build every. Do you hear me? There's pretty serious stuff in it. How close to God are they? That's how great your mind is. It's able to contemplate what we just talked about. It's not experiencing it, but it's able to contemplate it because it transcends form. It transcends, but you have to, so I always tell them this, right? I don't get to talk to quantum physicists, but then the result is, okay, you go down there, you understand it's not there. You have proven it's not there. It's just these agitations of wavelets, and you go home and fight with your wife. Wait, here it goes. I'm a quantum physicist. I figured it out. There's nothing there. It's just little wavelets interacting with each other, agitating each other. Oh God, I want a Nobel Prize. I want the Nobel Prize. I deserve the Nobel Prize. Why'd he get the Nobel Prize? I should have it. Hello? How could you miss this? You just proved there's nothing there. But yet you go right back to your prison, right or wrong. I would love you. Hey, let's have a prison break. That's what I want. Let's have a mass prison break. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, how do you do that? First, you have to want to. Right now, what you want to do is pull things into your prison that make you feel better. And it's natural, because nobody wants to be locked up in a prison. But there's a thing called getting out, instead of trying to make it nice being in. How do you get out? You learn to handle reality. There's only one way out, I'm telling you. You can have experiences, you can do drugs, you can do deep meditation. You can have some experience that lets you know, oh, well, let me tell you what happened to me 5 years ago. Well, obviously you didn't stay there. You use past tense. I want you way past that. I want you to establish yourself in the seat of total, that's what enlightenment is. Establish your consciousness, not mine. By using mind to expand, it liberates consciousness. Because right now your consciousness is locked into this little mind. And that's not a very big step from expanded mind to realized consciousness. Ramakrishna, great enlightened master, once said, the purified mind is no different than the self. What do you mean the purified mind? The mind that didn't build this fake garbage inside of it. It's open, it's expanded. Then the self doesn't get drawn down. There's nothing distracting you. That mind won't distract you. Then all of a sudden you realize who you are. You are the consciousness that is the universe. That's who you are. You are, every single one of you right now are the consciousness that expanded and created the universe that came down to play in it. You are it. My father and I are one. Somebody said that, didn't they? And they got in trouble for saying that. I'm a nice Jewish yogi. I love it. My father and I are one is the essence of enlightenment, the essence of the truth. And that's true of you. You understand that? He said that. He said, as I sit by the throne of my Father, it is a state of consciousness. As I sit by the throne of my Father, so you shall sit by my throne. Right? You are the consciousness that created the universe and is experiencing everything. You're one with the entire. You are so great, it's incomprehensible. But what you did with your consciousness is get an ingrown toenail. You just limited yourself down to this prison that you locked yourself in. So what do I do about that? You learn to handle reality. The reason you held that stuff is because you couldn't handle it. What was traumatic in her life, you had no problem with it. What was traumatic in your life, she had no problem with it. It's what you couldn't handle that created the prison. So what you need to do is, instead of buying into that you're locked in this prison, learn to handle reality. That's the essence of what I've learned. You want to get out? Then learn to handle reality. Why? Because then I don't have to hold on. When reality comes into me, I can let it pass through. I'm liberated. I can be free. The minute you're not holding on to things, then you're not holding on to things. You let go of the bars that make your prison. Well, how do I learn to handle reality? I told you this, right? I know it sounds so trite and so stupid. Have you ever been driving behind somebody that's driving you crazy? You ever behind somebody who's driving 15 miles below the speed limit and you're in a rush and they didn't even use their blinker when they turned? Nice blinker, buddy. Yes or no? Is that just me? I want to get this straight. You're my therapist, all right? Because he likes doing that. Okay. You can be behind this car for what, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and you can't handle it? You can't handle it. You're sitting on a little planet, spinning in the middle of nowheres, scooting around in your little car on the planet, and somebody's driving in front of you the way you don't like. How about we say, if I can't handle that, I can't handle anything. Maybe I should be able to handle that. Maybe I should be able to get the ball over the net instead of lowering the net. Am I willing to work with myself instead of work with that guy or gal? Am I willing to do things that help me say, I can handle this? Well, mantra is good for the Western world. How about this one? I can handle this. I can handle this. I can handle. How would you like that going on in your head all the time? I can handle this. I can handle the driver in front of me. Can you handle? It's hot out, isn't it? Hey, it's really hot. 90 odd degrees. It's really hot. Can you handle it? I told you. You want to handle it? Think for one moment when you feel that heat, because that is a star, and you are so close to a star that you feel its heat. Whoa, that's exciting. It can free you instead of lock you up. I told you, you don't get sunburned, you get starburned. Doesn't that change everything? Look, I get starburned. I was close enough to a star and I got red. Wow. Do that with everything. Start with these tiny little things in your life that you don't handle. You can handle them, you just don't bother. That's like saying, I can get it over the net, and no, I'm lower the net. I don't want to play with that. I want to dunk. I keep trying to dunk. Learn to jump. Learn to be better. So learn to handle the things that are happening in front of you. Start with the little things. And because you can handle those, next thing you can handle that Sally didn't say hello. 8.3 billion people on the planet Earth didn't say hello either. But you couldn't handle that Sally didn't say hello. Start working with yourself. Use affirmation, use meditation, use breathing, use anything you want. I don't care. Change the way you're using your mind. Don't try to make everything fit inside your limited mind. expand your mind by handling reality. And next thing you know, you can do that. Next thing you know, a bigger thing will come. You can handle that. A bigger thing will handle that. Then I'm warning you what's going to happen. When you can start to handle these everyday situations, all of a sudden, the stuff that you couldn't handle from before starts coming up inside. I'm warning you. Don't show me I didn't tell you. If you stop pushing stuff down there, the stuff that you push down there that you don't bother dealing with will start coming up. What do? Handle it. Love it. Say, thank you. I don't want to be inside of a prison. That's a prison that I built when I was little. Your parents got divorced. No, I don't want those bars. We had a good talk. You understand bars when I say them now, don't I? I don't want the bars. So come on up. Relax through them. Same thing you did with the sun, with the rain. Relax through this stuff. Will I do it perfectly? You will never do it perfectly. It doesn't matter. It's a prison break. It takes some time. If it was easy, they'd all be out here. It takes somebody really sharp to get out of here, okay? And so you just keep letting go. Now you understand what I mean by letting go? You relax and release. Why? Because I don't want to stay locked up. But there's no buts. But it's not fair. I don't care if it's fair. I don't care if it's just. I don't care if it's right. I don't care if it's wrong. I don't care. I want out. How about you? I do not want to hold these bars and say I'm only going to be okay if everything's the way I want, because then I'm never going to be okay. I'm willing to let them go. So little by little, let them be compassionate with yourself, but get out. Oh, I like the prison break concept. Somebody's locked up in there. Yeah. Is there somebody locked up in there? Answer me. Is there somebody locked up in there? Do you know that you have someone locked up in there? Is it comfortable in there? Is it comfortable being locked up in there? It's not. You know every single thing I talked to you about today. You know you can get out. You just need to work with yourself. And that's the entire spiritual journey, is liberation. Free yourself. All right? And I'm stopping now, I promise. There is something you don't know about. Some of you do. You're not really in there alone. There's a great energy, the energy of your consciousness. Consciousness has an energy of itself. It's called Chit Shakti. Conscious energy. They call it spirit. We call it Shakti. It's part of the nature of consciousness. As you free yourself and let go of all that garbage in there, you start feeling this flow of energy. You felt it when you felt love. You felt it when you won the lottery. You felt it when you got the job you wanted. Well, I guess it's in there, but you keep blocking it. You only made it conditional. It's not conditional. As you let go of those bars, you start feeling this rush of beautiful energy pouring inside of you. When? Always. It just keeps flowing inside of you, raising you up, lifting you up. Then it gets so strong, you have trouble staying down. That's where the great ones go. And eventually it gets so strong that you melt into it, you merge, and that's enlightenment. And every one of you are capable of that level of liberation. But nice to know along the way, there's this beautiful energy, beautiful love. You don't need anything. The kingdom of God is within you. Somebody said that. The kingdom of God is within you. Didn't he say that? Free yourself. You're a great being. Jagradev.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.